Ever imagine a world where even plumbers are using like cutting-edge software to
Yeah.
manage their business?
Wow.
Well, that's the world ServiceTitan is building.
Yeah.
And we're diving deep into their journey today as they prepare to go public.
We're taking a look at their S-1 filing with the SEC.
Oh, nice.
It's like a gold mine of information about their business,
Wow.
their place in the booming trades industry,
Okay.
and what makes them tick.
So if you're thinking about investing,
Yeah.
just curious about the tech landscape, or even run your own trades business, this deep dive is for you.
It's like your express lane to understanding ServiceTitan.
Okay, so let's start with the basics.
Sure.
What exactly is ServiceTitan, and what do they do?
They call themselves the operating system for tradespeople.
Okay.
And it's a pretty apt description.
I like it.
They've built this cloud-based software platform
Okay.
that's not just for scheduling appointments.
Right.
It's designed to handle every aspect of running a business, like plumbing, HVAC, or electrical.
Okay, let's unpack that operating system idea a little bit.
Sure.
They cover everything from customer relationship management, that's CRM for the tech savvy,
Right.
to dispatch, payments, even financing.
Wow.
It's quite comprehensive.
Absolutely.
So it's not just software.
No, it's not.
It's like a whole suite of tools designed to help trades businesses thrive.
Exactly. They've identified 5 key areas they call the core centers of gravity.
Okay, I like this.
And each one represents a whole suite of tools for trades businesses.
Okay.
We've got CRM, field service management, FSM, enterprise resource planning, ERP,
Oh, wow.
human capital management, HCM, and even fintech solutions.
So they're really aiming to be the one-stop shop for everything a trades business needs.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so we've got this robust software platform.
Yeah.
But what about the market itself?
Sure.
How big is this opportunity for ServiceTitan?
The trades industry is absolutely massive. We're talking an estimated $1.5 trillion in annual spending across the U.S. and Canada alone.
Wow.
ServiceTitan estimates their current serviceable market at around $650 billion,
Okay.
which tells you there's a lot of room for growth.
That's a huge market.
Yeah.
What makes it particularly interesting to me is how resilient the trades are. Even when the economy takes a hit, people still need their plumbing fixed, their air conditioners running, and their electrical issues sorted out.
Exactly. There's a certain level of stability in the trades that you don't always find in other industries. No matter what's happening in the world, people still need these essential services.
They do.
And that's a big part of what makes ServiceTitan's position so interesting.
Interesting.
They're providing tools for a sector that's not going away anytime soon.
Okay, so they've got this robust software platform.
Right.
They're targeting a massive and resilient market.
Yep.
But what really makes ServiceTitan stand out?
Okay.
What are they doing differently?
Well, their customer retention rates are a big clue. For the past 10 quarters, they've maintained a gross dollar retention rate of over 95%.
Wow.
Meaning they're keeping almost all of their existing customers. Even more impressive.
Yeah.
Their net dollar retention rate has been over 110% for the same period.
Yeah. So their customers are not only sticking around, but actually spending more over time.
Exactly.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
What's driving that kind of loyalty?
Sure.
Is it just the breadth of features they offer? Or is there something more to it?
It's definitely more than just features.
Okay.
ServiceTitan is deeply data-driven.
Okay.
They use data insights to optimize everything.
Yeah.
From how they dispatch technicians, predicting the value of a job before a technician even sets foot on site.
Hold on. Predicting job value.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, they gather data on past jobs, customer history.
Okay.
Even things like the neighborhood a job is in. By analyzing all of this information, their system can estimate how much a particular job is likely to be worth.
Wow.
This helps technicians with things like pricing and upselling.
Okay.
But it also helps ServiceTitan understand the overall health of their customers' businesses.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like they're giving trades businesses a level of insight they never had before.
Exactly.
And it goes beyond just predicting job value.
Right.
They even have AI-powered coaching for sales teams.
Yeah.
Imagine having a virtual mentor listening to your sales calls and providing personalized feedback to help you close more deals.
It's really interesting how they're applying this technology.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're really using technology to empower tradespeople in ways that were unimaginable just a few years ago.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the results speak for themselves.
Okay, let's hear about those results.
Their revenue has grown by a staggering 31% year over year.
Wow.
From fiscal 2023 to 2024.
Those are some serious numbers.
Yeah.
But with growth comes challenges.
Right. Absolutely no business is without its challenges.
So what are some of the hurdles ServiceTitan is facing?
Well, they've highlighted a few potential risks in their S-1 filing.
Like what?
One obvious concern is competition.
Hmm.
The software market is incredibly competitive.
Makes sense.
And there are plenty of other companies trying to carve out their own space in the trades tech world.
Right.
Some of these competitors are large, established players,
Yeah.
while others are smaller, nimbler startups.
Interesting.
Either way, ServiceTitan needs to stay ahead of the curve to maintain its edge.
So how are they planning to do that? What's their strategy for fending off the competition?
Well, one strategy is to simply keep expanding their offerings.
Okay.
They've been making strategic acquisitions, like their recent purchase of Convex in April 2024.
Convex, okay.
Convex specializes in software for commercial building services.
Gotcha.
So that acquisition opens up a whole new market segment for ServiceTitan.
That makes sense. Diversification is always a good strategy.
Uh-huh.
But I imagine there are other challenges besides just competition, right?
Sure. Uh-huh.
What about things like data security?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Data security is a major concern for any company dealing with sensitive customer information.
Right.
And ServiceTitan is no exception.
So are they addressing that?
They have.
Okay.
They've acknowledged in their filing that they've experienced some security incidents in the past, although none of these incidents have had a material impact on their financials.
Okay, that's good to hear.
But as they grow and handle more data,
Yeah.
the stakes only get higher.
Right. A major data breach could be disastrous for their reputation and their business.
Right.
What are they doing to mitigate this risk?
They've outlined a number of security measures in their S-1 filing,
Okay.
including things like encryption, access controls, and regular security audits.
So they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, they're also investing heavily in their security infrastructure and personnel to ensure they're staying ahead of the curve when it comes to data protection.
It sounds like they're taking data security very seriously, which is reassuring. But there's another elephant in the room we haven't addressed yet. The economy?
Ah, yes, the ever-present economic uncertainty.
All right.
ServiceTitan does acknowledge in their filing
Yeah.
that potential economic downturns could impact consumer spending. If people are tightening their belts, they might be less likely to undertake home improvement projects,
Sure.
which could in turn affect ServiceTitan's customer base.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
But as we discussed earlier,
Yeah.
the trades are generally more resilient than other industries.
Right.
Even in tough times, people still need plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. It's not like they could just put off fixing a leaky pipe or a broken furnace indefinitely.
Exactly. There's a certain level of necessity to the trades.
Right.
That provides a buffer against economic fluctuations.
Okay.
But it's still a factor to consider.
Yeah.
And ServiceTitan is aware of this potential risk.
So we've talked about their platform, their market,
Yeah.
their competitive advantages, and even the challenges they face. But what about the people behind ServiceTitan?
Okay.
Who are the masterminds driving this company's success?
Well, at the helm are co-founders Ara Madeshin and Vahe Kuzoyan.
Okay.
And these aren't just your typical Silicon Valley tech bros.
Okay.
They have deep roots in the trades industry
Interesting.
and a genuine passion for serving this community.
I'm curious, how do they end up building a tech company for tradespeople?
Okay.
What's their story?
Ara's father was a tradesman, so he grew up seeing firsthand the challenges and rewards of working in the trades. Vahe actually worked as a plumber himself while coding ServiceTitan in his spare time.
Wow, that's dedication.
Yeah,
It sounds like they really understand the needs of their customers because they've lived those experiences themselves.
exactly. They're not just building a software company, they're building a community.
I like that.
They even have these core values called the Titan principles that guide their work and their interactions with customers.
Tell me more about these Titan principles.
Okay.
What kind of values are we talking about here?
Well, one of their key principles is to obsess over making customers successful. They believe that their own success is directly tied to the success of their customers.
Okay.
And they genuinely want to see those trades businesses thrive.
That's a refreshing perspective.
Yeah.
So many companies just focus on their own bottom line.
Right?
But it sounds like ServiceTitan is taking a more collaborative approach.
Absolutely. Another one of their principles is to put customers first, company second, me third.
Interesting.
They encourage their employees to prioritize the needs of the customer above all else,
Okay.
which creates a very customer-centric culture.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
You don't hear that very often in the corporate world.
it's true.
It sounds like they're really trying to build a different kind of company. One that's based on genuine partnership and shared success.
That's exactly right.
So we've got this dynamic leadership duo,
Yeah.
a strong set of values, and a company that's clearly firing on all cylinders.
It seems like it.
But let's not forget why we're here.
Okay.
ServiceTitan is going public.
Yes, that's right.
The S-1 reveals that they're aiming for an IPO on the NYSE,
Wow.
which is a huge milestone for any company.
It is.
It marks a new chapter in their journey and opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
It's exciting to see a company like this
Right.
preparing to enter the public markets.
But what does it actually mean for ServiceTitan to go public?
Okay.
What are the implications?
Well, for starters, it means they'll have access to a lot more capital.
Okay.
They can use the proceeds from the IPO for things like investing in new product development, expanding into new markets,
Right.
or even acquiring other companies.
So it's basically fuel for growth.
Exactly.
But going public also comes with increased scrutiny. They'll be under a microscope, with analysts and investors closely watching their every move.
For sure.
That can be a lot of pressure.
It can.
But it sounds like ServiceTitan is up for the challenge.
Yeah.
They've got a strong track record, a compelling vision,
Right?
and a passionate team.
They certainly do. And their S-1 filing provides a detailed look at their financial performance,
Okay.
their management team, their growth strategy,
Yeah.
and even the risks they face. It's all there in black and white for anyone to see.
Transparency is always a good sign.
It is.
It suggests they've got nothing to hide,
Yeah.
and they're confident in their ability to deliver on their promises.
For sure.
And for potential investors, this S-1 filing is an invaluable resource.
It is.
It's like a window into the inner workings of the company,
Yeah.
allowing you to make an informed decision
Right.
about whether or not to invest.
That's right.
It's fascinating to get this kind of behind-the-scenes look at a company on the verge of such a major transformation.
For sure.
But it's not just about ServiceTitan, is it?
No, it's about so much more than that.
Like what?
Their story is emblematic of a larger trend we're seeing in the tech world.
Okay.
A trend towards specialization and vertical SaaS solutions.
Wait, remind me again what vertical SaaS means.
Vertical SaaS simply means software that's tailored for a specific industry,
Okay.
as opposed to software that tries to be everything to everyone.
Right.
ServiceTitan is a perfect example.
Gotcha.
They're laser focused on serving the needs of trades businesses.
So instead of trying to build a generic software platform that could work for any type of business,
Right.
they're going deep into one particular niche
Yeah,
and really understanding the nuances of that market.
exactly.
And it's a smart strategy.
Yeah.
By becoming experts in the specific challenges and opportunities of the trades industry, they can build a product that truly solves their customers' pain points
Right.
in a way that a more generic software solution simply couldn't.
They,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
So ServiceTitan's success is not just about them.
No.
It's about a fundamental shift in how software is being developed and deployed. It's about moving away from one-size-fits-all solutions
Right.
and embracing specialization and deep industry knowledge.
You've got it.
And we're seeing this trend play out across a wide range of industries.
That's right.
From healthcare to education to finance.
Yeah.
Vertical SaaS is disrupting traditional industries and creating new opportunities for both businesses and consumers.
For sure.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other industries are ripe for this kind of disruption.
It does.
Where will we see the next ServiceTitan emerge?
That's a great question.
It is.
And it's one we'll definitely be exploring in future deep dives.
Sounds good.
But for now, let's get back to ServiceTitan and their upcoming IPO.
Okay.
What are some of the key things potential investors should be looking at as they evaluate this opportunity?
Let's start with the big one. Risk. What are some of the potential downsides investors need to be aware of?
Well, we've already touched on a few of them.
Right.
Competition is fierce in the software world,
Yeah.
and there's always the risk of new entrants disrupting the market. Data security is another major concern,
Right.
and any missteps in that area could have serious consequences.
And of course, there's the ever-present risk of economic downturns impacting consumer spending.
Yeah.
But as we discussed earlier, the trades are relatively resilient,
Right.
and people will always need plumbers and electricians, even in tough times.
It's true.
So they've got a bit of a buffer there.
They do.
Okay, good.
But investors should also be looking closely at ServiceTitan's financial performance. How fast is their revenue growing?
Yeah.
Are they profitable?
Okay.
What's their cash flow like?
Right.
These are all crucial indicators of a company's health and its potential for future growth.
So it's not just about the top-line revenue numbers. It's about understanding the underlying fundamentals of the business and making sure they're on solid footing.
Exactly. And investors should also be paying attention to ServiceTitan's management team.
Okay.
Do they have a clear vision for the future? Are they experienced and capable?
Oh.
Do they have a good track record?
Yeah.
These are all important factors to consider.
It sounds like there's a lot to unpack here.
There is.
But thankfully, we've got this S-1 filing to guide us.
That's right.
It's like a roadmap to understanding ServiceTitan's business,
Yep.
their opportunities,
Yeah.
and their challenges.
For sure.
This has been incredibly informative.
Glad to hear it.
Now let's move on to something that may make or break an investment. The financials.
Ah, yes, the nitty-gritty details.
Wow.
This is where we separate the hype from reality. While ServiceTitan's growth has been impressive, they did report a net loss for the 6 months ended July 31st, 2024.
Over $91 million, to be exact.
That's right.
But it seems like they're managing this strategically.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
It's important to look at the context.
Right.
ServiceTitan is investing heavily in growth initiatives.
Yeah.
They're pouring money into research and development,
Makes sense.
expanding their sales and marketing efforts,
Okay.
and building out their infrastructure to support future expansion.
So they're spending money to make money,
Exactly.
which isn't unusual for a company in hyper-growth mode.
Right.
But what about those hefty expenses like stock-based compensation and amortization of intangible assets?
Those are typical growing pains for a company at this stage.
Okay.
Stock-based compensation is a way to attract and retain top talent,
Right.
which is crucial in a competitive industry like tech.
Makes sense.
And amortization of intangible assets is simply an accounting mechanism for spreading out the cost of things like patents and trademarks over time.
So it's not necessarily a red flag.
Not at all.
It sounds like they're making the necessary investments to build a sustainable business for the long haul.
Yeah.
But are there any signs that they're also focusing on profitability?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
They highlight some non-GAAP metrics that paint a slightly rosier picture.
Okay, like what?
For example, their non-GAAP operating margin came in at a positive 5% for the same 6-month period.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
It's not.
They're not just focused on top-line revenue growth.
Right.
They're also taking steps to improve operational efficiency and move towards profitability.
Exactly. And remember those data insights we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
They're using data to optimize every aspect of their business, from dispatch routes to sales coaching.
Right.
This data-driven approach should ultimately lead to a healthier bottom line down the road.
It's impressive how they're leveraging data to gain a competitive edge.
It is.
Speaking of their team, we touched on the co-founders' backgrounds.
Yeah.
But what about their overall approach to building a company culture?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
They're incredibly passionate about creating a positive and supportive work environment. They believe that happy employees lead to happy customers. And they've put a lot of thought into fostering a culture that aligns with their values.
So it's more than just perks and ping pong tables.
It is.
What are they doing differently?
They've established a set of core values, the Titan principles,
Okay.
that guide their hiring decisions,
Okay.
their performance reviews,
Right.
and even their day-to-day interactions.
Okay.
These principles emphasize things like customer obsession, teamwork,
Yeah.
continuous improvement,
Okay.
and a commitment to excellence.
It sounds like they're trying to build a company where people feel valued,
Yeah.
empowered,
Right.
and inspired to do their best work.
Exactly. They want to create a workplace where people are excited to come to work every day
Okay.
and where they feel like they're making a real difference.
That's a lofty goal,
It is.
but it's one that's clearly resonating with their employees.
It seems to be.
They've built a reputation as a great place to work,
Yeah.
which is a major asset in today's competitive job market.
It is.
And they're not just focused on attracting top talent,
Right.
they're also committed to developing and retaining their employees.
Uh-huh.
They offer extensive training programs,
Yeah.
mentorship opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and career advancement paths to help their team members grow and thrive.
They're really investing in their people,
It sounds like they are.
which is ultimately an investment in the future of the company.
Exactly. And that's a smart move
It is.
because in the tech world, talent is everything.
For sure.
A company is only as good as its people.
Absolutely.
Now let's zoom out a bit.
Sure.
And think about where ServiceTitan fits into the broader tech landscape.
Okay.
Earlier, you mentioned this idea of vertical size.
Yeah.
And how it's disrupting traditional industries.
Uh-huh.
How significant is this trend?
Hmm.
And what does it mean for the future of software?
Vertical SaaS is more than just a trend. It's a fundamental shift in the way software is being developed and deployed.
Okay.
For years, the focus was on building horizontal SaaS solutions that could serve a wide range of industries.
Like a Swiss Army knife of software.
Exactly. One platform that could do it all.
Right.
But the problem with that approach is that it often leads to generic solutions that don't truly meet the specific needs of any particular industry.
So vertical SaaS is about ditching the one-size-fits-all approach and embracing specialization.
Precisely, it's about going deep into one specific industry, understanding its unique challenges and opportunities, and building software that's perfectly tailored to address those needs.
And ServiceTitan is a prime example of how successful this approach can be.
Absolutely. They've built a dominant position in the trades tech market by focusing exclusively on the needs of plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians, and other trades businesses.
So they're not trying to be everything to everyone.
Right.
They're experts in one specific domain.
Yeah.
And they're leveraging that expertise to create a product that's truly valuable to their customers.
That's the essence of vertical SaaS.
Gotcha.
And we're seeing this trend play out across a wide range of industries, from healthcare to education to finance.
Right.
Specialized software solutions are gaining traction and disrupting traditional business models.
It's fascinating to see how technology is transforming even the most established industries.
It is.
And it makes you wonder what's next. What other sectors are ripe for this kind of disruption?
That's a great question, and one we'll definitely be exploring in future deep dives.
I look forward to it.
But for now, let's get back to ServiceTitan and their upcoming IPO.
Okay.
What are some of the key things potential investors should be looking at as they evaluate this opportunity?
We've covered a lot of ground already, but let's dive into some of the specific details that investors should be paying attention to.
Okay.
Starting with the competitive landscape.
That's a crucial area to consider.
Yeah.
ServiceTitan operates in a competitive market, and they've listed several competitors in their S-1 filing, both large and small. Investors need to understand who those competitors are, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and how ServiceTitan plans to differentiate itself in the marketplace.
So it's not just about being the biggest or the best known.
Right.
It's about having a clear competitive advantage that will allow them to sustain their growth over the long term.
Exactly. Investors need to be convinced that ServiceTitan has a durable competitive moat that will protect them from being overtaken by rivals.
Right.
And there are several factors that could contribute to this moat.
Like what? What are some of ServiceTitan's key strengths that give them an edge?
Well, we've already talked about their impressive customer retention rates.
Right.
That's a major indicator of a strong product market fit, which suggests that they're delivering real value to their customers.
Okay.
And that those customers are happy with what they're getting.
That's definitely a good sign. Anything else?
Another key strength is the comprehensiveness of their platform.
Right.
They offer a wide range of features and tools that cover virtually every aspect of running a trades business.
Gotcha.
This makes them a one-stop shop for their customers, which can be a major selling point.
So it's not just about having a lot of features.
It's not.
It's about having the right features that truly address the needs of their target market.
Precisely. And they've also built a strong brand and reputation in the industry. They're known for their customer-centric approach, their innovative technology, and their commitment to empowering tradespeople.
That's a powerful combination.
It is.
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
No company is perfect.
Right.
And ServiceTitan is no exception.
True.
What are some of the potential weaknesses that investors should be aware of?
Well, one potential weakness is their reliance on a relatively small number of large customers. While they have a large customer base overall, a significant portion of their revenue comes from a handful of very large accounts. This concentration of revenue could make them vulnerable if one or more of those large customers were to leave.
That's a valid point. Anything else?
Another potential weakness is their limited international presence. They're primarily focused on the North American market.
Yeah.
Which could limit their growth potential if they're unable to successfully expand into other regions.
So investors should be looking for signs that they have a viable strategy for international expansion.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And they should also be aware of the risks associated with operating in a rapidly evolving industry. The tech world is constantly changing.
That's true.
And ServiceTitan needs to stay ahead of the curve to remain competitive.
So no resting on their laurels.
Not all.
It sounds like there's a lot to consider here.
Yeah.
But the good news is that ServiceTitan is very transparent about their business.
That's true.
They've laid it all out
They've
laid it all out in their S-1 filing.
They have.
Giving potential investors a detailed look at their operations,
Right.
their financials, and their plans for the future.
That's one of the great things about IPOs. They force companies to open up their books.
Okay.
And share a lot of information that they might not otherwise disclose.
So it's a chance for investors to really get under the hood and understand what makes a company tick.
Exactly.
And in ServiceTitan's case, it's a fascinating story.
It is.
They're a company that's disrupting a traditional industry, empowering tradespeople,
right,
and building a strong business in the process.
It's an inspiring example of how technology can be used to make a positive impact on the world.
You're right. We haven't even touched on the financials yet.
True.
That's where the rubber meets the road for any company.
For sure.
Especially one that's about to go public.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
A company can have a great story and a promising vision, but ultimately the numbers have to add up.
Absolutely. So let's dive into ServiceTitan's financials.
Okay.
And see what we can glean from their S-1 filing.
The S-1 filing paints a pretty detailed picture of their financial performance over the past few years.
Okay.
They've been growing rapidly, with revenue increasing significantly year over year.
But as we touched on earlier, they're still operating at a loss.
Right.
How should we interpret that? Is it a cause for concern?
Okay.
Or is it just part of the growing pains for a company at this stage?
It's a bit of both, to be honest.
Okay.
On the one hand, it's not uncommon for high-growth tech companies to operate at a loss in their early years.
Okay.
They're investing heavily in growth,
right,
which can put a strain on profitability in the short term.
So they're spending money to make money.
Exactly.
As the saying goes.
That's right. And in ServiceTitan's case, they're making significant investments in research and development, sales and marketing, and expanding their operations. All of this is necessary to fuel their growth and build a sustainable business for the long term.
But on the other hand, investors will want to see a clear path to profitability.
That's absolutely true.
Right.
And ServiceTitan acknowledges this in their S-1 filing.
Okay.
They've laid out their plans for achieving profitability, which include growing their revenue, improving their operational efficiency, and eventually scaling back on some of their growth investments.
So it's a balancing act.
It is.
They need to grow aggressively to capture market share.
Right.
But they also need to be mindful of their expenses and make sure they're on a sustainable path.
Exactly. And it's a challenge that many high-growth companies face.
Yeah. It's not easy to find that sweet spot between growth and profitability.
It's not.
But ServiceTitan seems to be managing it well.
It seems like it.
They've been able to grow their revenues significantly while also making progress towards profitability.
Their gross margins are quite healthy.
Okay.
And they've been able to reduce their operating losses over time. This suggests that they're becoming more efficient as they scale, which is a positive sign.
So they're not just growing for the sake of growing.
Right.
They're growing in a way that's sustainable and that will eventually lead to profitability.
Exactly. And that's what investors will be looking for.
Right.
They want to see a company that's not just chasing growth at all costs, but that's building a solid foundation for long-term success.
It's all about finding that balance between short-term growth and long-term sustainability.
Precisely. And ServiceTitan seems to be striking that balance effectively.
Now let's talk about something that's always a hot topic when it comes to tech companies.
Okay.
Valuation.
Yeah.
How much is ServiceTitan actually worth?
Right.
And is it a good investment at that price?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Valuation is always subjective.
Sure.
And there's no single right answer.
Right.
It depends on a variety of factors, including the company's financial performance, its growth prospects, its competitive landscape, and overall market conditions.
So how do investors go about determining a company's value? What are some of the key metrics they look at?
There are a number of different valuation methods, but some of the most common include
let's hear them.
price to earnings ratio. PE ratio.
Okay.
This compares the company's stock price to its earnings per share. A higher PE ratio typically indicates that investors are expecting higher growth in the future.
Makes sense.
Price to sales ratio, PS ratio.
Okay.
This compares the company's stock price to its revenue per share. It's often used to value companies that are not yet profitable.
Gotcha.
Price to book ratio, PB ratio.
Okay.
This compares the company's stock price to its book value per share.
Okay.
Which is a measure of the company's net assets.
Right.
It's often used to value companies and industries with a lot of tangible assets like manufacturing or real estate.
So investors use these ratios to compare ServiceTitan to other companies in the same industry or to the market as a whole.
Exactly. They want to see how ServiceTitan stacks up against its peers and whether its valuation is justified based on its financial performance and growth prospects.
It sounds like there's a lot of number crunching involved in valuation.
There certainly is.
Yep.
And it's not an exact science.
Right.
But these ratios can give investors a general sense of whether a company is overvalued or undervalued.
And ultimately, it's up to each individual investor to decide whether they're comfortable with the valuation and the level of risk involved.
Exactly. Investing is always a gamble.
It is.
And there are no guarantees.
Right.
But by doing their research and understanding the fundamentals of the business, investors can make more informed decisions.
Now let's move on to something that's particularly interesting about ServiceTitan.
Okay.
Their impact on the trades industry.
Right.
They're not just building a successful software company.
Yeah.
They're actually transforming the way trades businesses operate.
That's what makes them so compelling. They're not just disrupting an industry for the sake of disruption. They're doing it in a way that's genuinely beneficial to the people who work in the trades.
How so? What kind of impact are they having on tradespeople?
Well, for starters, they're making it easier for trades businesses to run their operations more efficiently.
Okay.
Their software platform helps with everything, from scheduling and dispatching to invoicing and payments. This frees up time for tradespeople to focus on what they do best, providing quality service to their customers.
So they're automating a lot of the tedious administrative tasks that used to take up so much time.
Exactly. And that's a huge benefit for trades businesses.
Yeah.
It allows them to be more productive, more profitable, and more competitive.
But it's not just about efficiency, is it?
No, it's not.
ServiceTitan is also helping trades businesses to improve their customer service.
That's a key part of their value proposition. Their software platform includes features that help trades businesses to track customer interactions, manage customer feedback, and provide a more personalized customer experience.
So they're helping trades businesses to build stronger relationships with their customers.
Exactly. And in today's competitive market, that's more important than ever.
It is.
Customers have more choices than ever before.
That's true.
And they're looking for businesses that can provide a great customer experience.
ServiceTitan is giving trades businesses the tools they need to deliver that kind of experience.
And it's not just about the software itself. ServiceTitan also provides a lot of support and training to their customers. They want to make sure that trades businesses are getting the most out of their software and that they're able to use it to achieve their business goals.
So they're not just selling software.
They're not.
They're building a community of trades businesses and helping them to succeed.
That's a great way to put it.
It is.
They're not just a software company. They're a partner to the trades industry.
And that's a powerful position to be in.
It is.
Not just disrupting an industry. They're helping to shape its future.
And they're doing it in a way that's positive and beneficial for everyone involved.
Now let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk about some of the broader implications of ServiceTitan's story.
Sure.
Earlier, we discussed the trend towards vertical SaaS.
Yeah.
And how it's disrupting traditional industries. What are some of the key takeaways from this trend?
Well, one of the biggest takeaways is that specialization is becoming increasingly important in the software world.
Right.
For years, the focus was on building horizontal SaaS solutions that could serve a wide range of industries.
Right, like a Swiss Army knife of software.
Exactly, one platform that could do it all.
Okay.
But now we're seeing a shift towards vertical SaaS solutions that are specifically tailored to the needs of particular industries.
So instead of trying to be everything to everyone.
Right.
Software companies are becoming experts in one specific domain.
Exactly. And that's a good thing for both businesses and consumers.
Okay.
For businesses, it means that they can find software solutions that are perfectly tailored to their needs.
Right.
And for consumers, it means that they can expect a better customer experience from businesses that are using software that's designed specifically for their industry.
So it's a win-win for everyone.
Absolutely. And ServiceTitan is a prime example of how successful this approach can be.
They are.
They've built a dominant position in the trades tech market
Right.
by focusing exclusively on the needs of plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians, and other trades businesses.
So they're not trying to be the next Salesforce or Oracle.
Right.
They're building the best possible software for trades businesses.
Yeah,
And they're doing it incredibly well.
that's exactly right. And it's a model that other software companies are starting to emulate.
Okay.
We're seeing more and more companies specializing in particular industries, and that's a trend that's likely to continue.
It's exciting to see how technology is transforming even the most traditional industries.
It is.
And it makes you wonder, what's next?
Yeah.
What other industries are ripe for this kind of disruption?
That's a great question.
It is.
And there are many possibilities.
Like what?
Healthcare, education,
Okay.
manufacturing, transportation. These are all industries that are being transformed by technology.
Interesting.
And we're likely to see a lot of innovation in these sectors in the years to come.
It's an exciting time to be following the tech world.
It is.
There's so much happening.
There is.
And it's all moving so fast.
Absolutely. And it's important to stay informed about these trends.
Yeah.
Because they're having a profound impact on our lives, both personally and professionally.
Now let's bring it back to ServiceTitan and their upcoming IPO.
Okay.
What are some of the key takeaways for potential investors?
Well, one of the biggest takeaways is that ServiceTitan is a company with a lot of potential.
Okay.
They're operating in a large and growing market. They have a strong track record of growth.
Okay.
And they have a talented management team.
But as with any investment,
Right.
there are risks to consider.
There are.
We've discussed some of those risks already,
We have.
such as competition, data security,
Yeah,
and economic uncertainty.
exactly. And investors need to weigh those risks carefully before making a decision.
Right.
They also need to understand the company's valuation
Uh-huh.
and make sure they're comfortable with the price they're paying.
It sounds like there's a lot to think about.
There is.
But that's the nature of investing.
It is.
There's always a balance between risk and reward.
That's right. And in the case of ServiceTitan's IPO,
Yeah.
it's up to each individual investor to decide whether the potential rewards outweigh the risks.
Now, before we wrap up our discussion of ServiceTitan,
Okay.
there's one more topic I'd like to explore. Their company culture.
Okay.
We touched on this earlier,
Yeah.
but I'd like to dive a little deeper. It seems like they've created a very unique and positive work environment.
They have, and it's a big part of their success.
Right.
They've built a culture that's based on collaboration, innovation,
Okay.
and customer obsession.
Can you give me some specific examples of how this culture manifests itself?
Sure. One example is their emphasis on transparency.
Okay.
They're very open with their employees about the company's performance, their goals,
Right.
and their challenges.
Yeah.
They believe that everyone should be on the same page
Yeah.
and that everyone should have a voice.
So they're not just telling their employees what to do.
Yeah,
They're involving them in the decision-making process.
exactly. And that creates a sense of ownership and accountability among employees. They feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves,
Okay.
and they're motivated to do their best work.
That's a powerful thing.
It is. And another example of their unique culture is their commitment to professional development. They provide their employees with a lot of opportunities to learn and grow.
Right.
They offer training programs, mentorship opportunities,
Okay.
and even tuition reimbursement.
So they're investing in their employees' future.
Absolutely. They believe that their employees are their most valuable asset,
Okay.
and they're willing to invest in their development.
That's a smart approach.
It is.
Happy and engaged employees are more productive and more likely to stay with the company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's clear that ServiceTitan's employees are happy and engaged.
Okay.
They have a very high employee retention rate, and they consistently receive positive reviews on sites like Glassdoor.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
It sounds like they've created a truly special workplace.
they have, and it's a big part of what makes them such an attractive company to work for
Right.
and to invest in.
Now, let's zoom out a bit
Okay.
and think about the bigger picture.
Sure.
ServiceTitan's story is just one example of how technology is transforming the world of work. what are some of the other trends we're seeing in this space?
Well, one of the biggest trends is the rise of remote work.
Okay.
Pandemic accelerated this trend,
Right.
and it's likely to continue in the years to come.
So more and more people working from home, or from coffee shops,
Yeah.
or from co-working spaces.
Exactly. And this has a number of implications for businesses.
Hmm.
For one thing, it means that they need to find new ways to manage their workforce
Okay.
and to collaborate effectively.
And it also means that they need to think about how to create a positive and supportive work environment for remote employees.
That's right. It's not enough to just give employees a laptop and tell them to work from home.
Right.
Businesses need to create a culture that supports remote work.
Okay.
And that helps remote employees to feel connected to the company and to their colleagues.
It's a new challenge for businesses,
It is?
but it's also an opportunity.
Right.
Remote work can allow businesses to attract and retain top talent from anywhere in the world.
Exactly. And it can also help businesses to reduce their overhead costs.
So it's a win-win for everyone involved.
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
But it's important to do it right.
Right.
Remote work can be challenging.
Yeah.
And it's not for everyone.
Okay.
Businesses need to carefully consider the implications before making the switch.
Now, another major trend we're seeing in the world of work is the increasing importance of automation.
That's right. As technology advances, more and more tasks are being automated. This is happening in all sorts of industries,
Okay.
from manufacturing to healthcare to finance.
And it's having a profound impact on the workforce.
It is.
Some jobs are being eliminated entirely,
Right.
while others are being transformed.
Exactly. And this is creating a lot of anxiety and uncertainty for workers.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're worried about losing their jobs to robots, and they're not sure what skills they need to develop to stay competitive in the future.
It's a valid concern,
It is.
but it's important to remember that automation is not necessarily a bad thing.
That's true.
It can free up workers from repetitive and mundane tasks,
Right.
allowing them to focus on more creative and fulfilling work.
And it can also create new jobs.
Okay.
As technology advances, new industries are emerging, and these industries will need workers with new skills.
So it's not just about robots taking our jobs.
Right.
It's about robots creating new opportunities for us.
Exactly. But it's important for workers to be proactive and to adapt to these changes.
Right.
They need to be willing to learn new skills
Right.
and to embrace new technologies.
Lifelong learning is more important than ever.
Absolutely. And it's not just about learning hard skills.
Yeah.
It's also about developing soft skills.
Okay.
Like communication, collaboration, and problem solving.
Gotcha.
These skills will be in high demand in the future, regardless of what industry you work in.
So the future of work is all about adaptability and lifelong learning.
That's right. And it's an exciting time to be alive.
It is.
We're living through a period of unprecedented technological change, and it's transforming the world around us in profound ways.
It's both challenging and exhilarating.
It is.
And it's important to stay informed about these trends so that we can adapt and thrive in this new world of work.
I agree. And I think ServiceTitan is a great example of a company that's embracing these changes and leading the way. They're using technology to transform a traditional industry. They're creating a positive and supportive work environment,
Right.
and they're helping their employees to develop the skills they need to succeed in the future.
They're a company that's worth watching.
They are.
And their story is an inspiration to us all.
I agree.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this second part of our deep dive into ServiceTitan.
We have.
We've talked about their financials,
Right.
their impact on the trades industry,
Right.
the broader trends that are shaping the world of work,
Yeah.
and the importance of data.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
It has.
And I'm looking forward to diving even deeper in part 3.
Me too. But before we move on, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on something that's been on my mind throughout our discussion.
Okay.
The power of technology to transform industries
Yeah.
and to improve people's lives.
That's a great point. We often hear about the negative impacts of technology. Job displacement,
Yeah,
privacy concerns,
right.
the spread of misinformation. And those are all valid concerns.
They are.
But it's important to remember that technology can also be a powerful force for good.
It can.
It can create new opportunities, connect people in new ways, and solve some of the world's most pressing problems.
And ServiceTitan's a perfect example of that.
Oh.
They're using technology to transform a traditional industry,
Right.
to empower tradespeople, and to create a more efficient and sustainable economy.
They're a company that's making a positive impact on the world.
They are, and that's something worth celebrating.
I agree, and their story is an inspiration to us all.
Well, that's a wrap on part 2 of our deep dive into ServiceTitan.
Okay.
In part 3, we'll explore their S-1 filing even further,
Sounds good.
diving into their growth strategy,
Yeah.
their competitive landscape, and their plans for the future. It's pretty amazing how ServiceTitan has managed to, like, inject this dose of cutting-edge tech into something as traditional as the trades.
It really is a fascinating case study in how software can revolutionize, even the most established industries. But as they gear up for this IPO, there are some key strategies outlined in the S-1 that are worth exploring.
Let's unpack that. What are some of the ways ServiceTitan is planning to grow and evolve in the coming years?
Their growth strategy seems to be built on 3 pillars: expanding their product offerings, penetrating new markets, and strategic acquisitions.
So basically they're looking to grow wider, deeper, and by bringing new players onto the team.
Precisely. First, let's talk about expanding their product offerings. They're constantly innovating and adding new features to their platform.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
To stay ahead of the competition, they need to keep offering more value to their customers.
Exactly. And they're not just adding features for the sake of it. They're really focused on developing solutions that address the specific needs of trades businesses.
Can you give me an example? What kind of new features are they rolling out?
Well, one area they're focusing on is artificial intelligence. Or AI. They're using AI to develop features that can automate even more tasks for trades businesses, like scheduling appointments and dispatching technicians.
So they're using AI to make their platform even smarter. And more efficient.
Precisely. And they're also using AI to develop features that can provide insights and recommendations to trades businesses, helping them to make better decisions about their operations.
It's like having a virtual consultant on hand at all times.
Exactly. And another area they're focusing on is mobile. They're developing mobile apps that allow tradespeople to access their platform from anywhere at any time.
Which makes sense. Tradespeople are always on the go. So they need to be able to manage their business from their phone or tablet.
Absolutely. And these mobile apps are packed with features that can help tradespeople to be more productive and efficient, like tracking their time, managing their inventory, and communicating with their customers.
It sounds like they're really thinking about the needs of their users.
They are.
And developing features that will make a real difference in their day-to-day work.
That's what's so impressive about their approach. They're not just building software, they're building solutions that solve real problems for real people.
Now, let's move on to the second pillar of their growth strategy. Penetrating new markets. What are some of the ways they're planning to expand their reach?
One obvious target is international expansion. Right now, they're primarily focused on the North American market. But they've stated in their S-1 filing that they plan to expand into other regions in the future.
Which makes sense. The trades are a global industry, so there's a huge potential market for their software outside of North America.
Absolutely. And they're also looking to expand into new market segments within North America.
Like what?
For example, they're starting to target larger commercial businesses. In addition to their core market of small to medium-sized businesses.
So they're going after the big fish now.
Exactly. And they're also looking to expand into adjacent industries such as property management and home services.
So they're not just sticking to their knitting. They're looking for new opportunities to apply their technology and expertise.
Precisely. And that brings us to the third pillar of their growth strategy: strategic acquisitions.
This is where they go shopping for other companies that can help them to achieve their goals.
Exactly. Acquisitions can be a quick and effective way to expand into new markets, acquire new technologies, or simply add talent to the team.
And ServiceTitan has already made a few strategic acquisitions, right?
They have. One notable example is their acquisition of Convex. A company that specializes in software for commercial building services. This acquisition gave them a foothold in a new market segment and helped them to expand their product offerings.
So it was a win-win.
Absolutely. And they're likely to make more acquisitions in the future as they look to accelerate their growth.
It's a bold strategy.
It is.
But it seems to be working for them so far.
Now, while they're clearly focused on growth, the S-1 filing also highlights some potential challenges they'll need to overcome.
Like what?
One of the biggest is competition.
Competition, right.
They operate in a crowded market, and they're facing competition from both established players and up-and-coming startups.
So it's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
In a way, yes. The software industry is incredibly competitive, and companies are constantly vying for market share.
So how does ServiceTitan plan to stay ahead of the pack?
Well, one of their key advantages is their focus on vertical SaaS.
Okay.
They have a deep understanding of the trades industry, and they've built a platform that's specifically tailored to the needs of trades businesses.
So they're not just a generic software company.
Right.
They're experts in their field.
Exactly. And that gives them a leg up on the competition, especially when it comes to serving the needs of smaller, more specialized businesses.
But they're also facing competition from larger, more diversified software companies, right?
They are. And these companies have a lot of resources at their disposal. So it's a challenge that ServiceTitan can't afford to ignore.
So how do they plan to compete with the big guys?
Well, one strategy is to continue to innovate and differentiate their product. They're investing heavily in research and development.
Right.
And they're constantly adding new features to their platform.
So they're staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And they're also focusing on building a strong brand and reputation in the industry. They're known for their customer-centric approach,
Right.
their commitment to innovation, and their deep understanding of the trades.
It sounds like they're building a moat around their business.
They are. And they're also leveraging their data to gain a competitive edge.
All right.
They're using data to personalize the customer experience.
Right.
To improve their operations and to develop new products and services.
So they're not just a software company, they're a data company.
Exactly. And that's a powerful combination in today's business world.
Now, another challenge that ServiceTitan faces is attracting and retaining top talent. The tech industry is notoriously competitive.
It is.
And companies are always on the lookout for skilled engineers, designers, and product managers.
That's true. And it's a challenge that ServiceTitan takes very seriously.
Okay.
They've created a strong company culture that's focused on collaboration, innovation, and professional development.
So they're creating a workplace where people want to come to work every day.
Exactly. They're offering competitive salaries and benefits.
Okay. And they're providing opportunities for their employees to learn and grow.
It sounds like they're doing all the right things.
They are. And it's paying off. They've been able to attract and retain some of the best talent in the industry.
That's a key ingredient for success in any business,
It is.
but especially in tech.
Now, beyond these internal challenges, ServiceTitan also faces external risks
Okay.
that are outside of their control.
What?
One of the biggest is the overall health of the economy.
Ah, yes, the economy. It's the wild card
It is.
that can make or break any business.
Exactly. If the economy goes into a recession, it could impact demand for ServiceTitan's products as businesses cut back on spending.
So they're not immune to macroeconomic forces.
No company is. And they acknowledge this risk in their S-1 filing.
But as we discussed earlier, the trades industry is relatively resilient.
Right.
People will always need plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians,
They will.
even in a downturn.
That's true, but a recession could still impact ServiceTitan's growth trajectory.
It's something for investors to keep in mind.
Absolutely. And another external risk that ServiceTitan faces is the regulatory environment.
Okay.
The trades industry is heavily regulated, and changes in regulations could impact their business.
So they need to stay on top of the latest rules and regulations.
They do, and they have a team of experts who are dedicated to monitoring the regulatory landscape and ensuring that ServiceTitan remains compliant.
It sounds like they're taking a proactive approach.
They are, and that's essential for any company that operates in a regulated industry.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into ServiceTitan,
Okay.
I want to take a step back and reflect on something that's been a recurring theme throughout our conversation.
Okay.
The power of technology to transform industries
Right.
and improve people's lives.
It's truly remarkable, isn't it? Technology is changing the world at an unprecedented pace.
It is.
And it's touching every aspect of our lives.
And ServiceTitan is a perfect example of how technology can be used to make a positive impact.
They are a great example.
They're using software to empower trades businesses, to create jobs, and to make our homes and businesses more comfortable and efficient.
And they're doing it with a focus on customer service, innovation, and social responsibility.
It's an inspiring story, and it's a reminder that technology can be a force for good in the world.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into ServiceTitan. We've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
from their business model and growth strategy
Right.
to their competitive landscape and the broader trends that are shaping the industry.
It's been a fascinating journey, and I hope our listeners have found it informative and insightful.
Me too. And I encourage everyone to continue to explore ServiceTitan's story. Their S-1 filing is a public document.
It is.
And it's a wealth of information about this innovative company.
Absolutely.
And who knows, maybe ServiceTitan's story will inspire some of our listeners to start their own businesses or to explore new career paths in the tech industry.
That would be fantastic.
That's what we love to see. So until next time, keep diving.